Got it. Okay. And that's great perspective, right? And the other aspect of it, Anne, is really coming back. We have a guest.
Yes, he was pawing at me, so I thought I would bring him up.
Okay, so you have two of you now. So which is really talking about the diversity of supply chain, and the inclusiveness of getting suppliers, minority suppliers, small businesses to be able to do business with the government, right? Again, back to what you said, right? Some of these contracts are multi-year, multi-decade contracts, right? So it
Mhm.
actually gives them. So what have you seen in terms of changes when it comes to expanding the supply chain to include more diverse suppliers?
The government works really hard at supplier diversity, and but the supplier diversity in the government is driven generally by trying to support small businesses and women and minority-owned businesses. So there are set-asides for those businesses, and certain contracts are set aside that says this particular contract can only be won by a small business or by a women-owned business or by a Native American business. And so there's some things that are done to try and increase diversity from that standpoint. And the small businesses graduate out of those programs. Obviously the minority and women-owned businesses do not. They stay minority and women-owned businesses unless they have a management change. So those programs are relatively successful at getting suppliers into those into the government and getting them work. However, it doesn't change the fact that it's complex for someone to start working with the government. So those smaller businesses really struggle with figuring out how to get in the door, how to get on those, how to get qualified to be on those contract vehicles. And again, I'm not an expert in supplier management, but certainly smart folks in the government are trying to find ways to make it easier for new companies to get in there. We're trying to make it easier for companies to get FedRAMP, which is our process for ensuring that cloud services can be safely utilized. We're just generally trying to make sure that those businesses are able to be successful suppliers to the federal government.
Got it. And one final question, again, if I'm looking at Anne right now, right, you're at the helm of one of the top government institutions, and for all the aspiring women, people of ethnicities that haven't been represented at this high level as where Anne is today, what advice do you have for them, and how do they kind of chart their path to get to becoming the next head of the DOE, much like you have?
Well, I've just got the IT part of DOE, not the whole thing.
Yeah.
But don't want to start any rumors. But I think that the government is actually a really great place for women to have opportunities, because the government hiring process is so focused on qualifications, and there's a lot of the non-specific qualification related things are pulled out of the process. So if you're willing to put the effort in to go through and complete a government resume and a package, which are complicated and kind of a pain, you can have the opportunity to really compete on a level playing field. And I mean, I don't have the data in front of me, but I think as a general rule, I've seen more women and senior executive roles in the federal government than I do in the private sector. I think there's sort of a little bit of an insidious downside there, which is women haven't been given as many opportunities. So even though these government jobs don't pay as well, they're more likely to take that responsibility to advance their careers. At the same time, it's a great opportunity to give back. So it's not a bad thing that women make that choice, but it's a bad thing that maybe they didn't have that choice to do the same job in the private sector. So in terms of being able to advance, I'd say, obviously one is look at the government as an opportunity, but the other one is, be prepared and take the opportunities that come your way. And by that means looking at things and finding those opportunities. Don't wait for it to fall in your lap, but look for them, network. And one of the biggest piece of advice I'd give to women is to remember that when they look at a job application, a job description, they look at that, and most women look at that and go, well, I'm missing one of these 25 things, so I'm not qualified. Most men look at that and go, I got 18 of them, so I'm qualified, I'm going to go for that job. Women need to put themselves out there a little more, and assume that they can do a job the same way that men do so that they can compete on a level playing field. Because if you're not in the pool, you have no chance of getting the job.
Wow, fine. Great words. And I've heard that so many times about the opt-in and opt-out, right? And it's so true, right? Seeing the same job description, how the male and females react to that. So again, Ann, thanks for everything that you do, and great to connect with you, and great to see your cat in the conversation as well. So good luck and thank you.
It's great to talk to you, Ashwin, and Jack says hello too.
All right, thank you.